In this video clip, Noam Chomsky will be referring to the Mafia principle. It is the tendency of powerful entities, like states or corporations, to act with impunity and disregard for the rights and well-being of others, similar to how a mafia operates. He argues that this principle is often at play in international relations, particularly in the context of U.S. foreign policy. The main factors are that powerful actors believe they can act with impunity, meaning they can violate international law, commit human rights abuses, or engage in aggression without facing consequences. Strong entities extract resources and benefits from weaker ones through coercion or threats, similar to how a mafia protects businesses in exchange for payments. Violence and aggression become normalized as acceptable tools for achieving goals, creating a climate of fear and intimidation. Powerful entities manipulate information and control narratives to maintain their dominance and justify their actions. Following this great clip, we will give some examples of Chomsky's of the Mafia principle.
I think with all the fancy talk in international relations theory, there's only one principle that I know of that seems to me to have any merit, and that's the Mafia principle. International relations is very much like the Mafia. The Godfather does not accept disobedience. And for, like if a small store, it doesn't matter if it's an important country or not. So suppose some small storekeeper doesn't pay his protection money. Well, the Godfather doesn't just send out his goons to pick up the money. He sends out the goons to beat him to a pulp so that others will understand that disobedience is not acceptable. And we have a rich documentary record. I mentioned a little of it, but there's plenty more. To show that that's been a guiding principle of great power politics anywhere you look. And it's an understandable principle. Of course, there's a task of intellectuals, and that's to write editorials like the one I quoted in the Boston Globe, which is universal. I don't want to dump on them. Our noble efforts aren't working, so let's try something else. But if you look at the record, it's the Mafia principle.
Chomsky argues that the U.S. often intervenes in other countries for its own interests, regardless of the human cost or the legality of its actions. He cites examples like the Vietnam War and the Iraq War as instances of the Mafia principle in action. The U.S. has often supported authoritarian regimes that violate human rights, as long as they serve American interests. This, according to Chomsky, demonstrates a willingness to tolerate oppressive behavior in exchange for strategic benefits. Powerful corporations can exploit weaker countries and their people through unfair trade practices, resource extraction, and labor abuses. This, Chomsky argues, is another manifestation of the Mafia principle in the economic sphere. I hope you like the video and give the channel a subscribe. Take care and bye-bye.